So guys, this year has been great, not only personally but also professionally. And if I say professionally, it is not, I'm not calculating it or I'm not measuring it with the kind of monetary returns I have received. It is nothing but the kind of recognition, the kind of realizations, the kind of love, admiration I have received is beyond measures, that will always be cherishable. It is highly motivating for me, and it was none other than by my learners, by my students. But guys, before we proceed with the main learnings, I want you all to comment down at the end of this video what all learnings you had this year, what all realizations you had this year, how this year helped you in evolving. So you can comment down. Also, please mention in the comments if you liked this video, if you can relate with what I said, and if you really think these are the necessary lessons which one should have and think about.
And yes,
Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Let's get started. Hi my lovely learners, welcome to English with Vinnie. I just hope you are in the pink of your health while listening to me and watching this video and having a good time of your life. In this video, we are going to talk about something which is not only related to your English learning journey,
but also
other life lessons which are not only important to be a good communicator, rather it is important to be a great human being. So without any delay, let's get started. In this video, I am going to share some of my life lessons which I learned this year and maybe in the previous years. So why to delay? Let's get started. Now I'm sure guys you may think, ma'am, what are we going to do after listening to the life lessons you have learned this year? How is it going to help us? Definitely, you can think about it. But the thing is, guys, what I believe is, what I think is, we can definitely learn from not only from our experiences, but it is even a wiser decision when we learn from someone else's experiences. So that is how it is said, it is wise to learn from your mistakes, but it is wiser to learn from someone else's mistakes. So I believe this is going to be a wiser decision if you can learn from my mistakes or if you learn from my experiences, and I can simultaneously learn from someone else's experience. So guys, if I just have a quick review of this year of mine, it has been a fantastic year. Honestly, it has been a really good year, but that doesn't mean that I'll stop being reflective. I'll stop introspecting as to where I should work upon and what are those areas where I really need to work upon or improve, or where I can become better, and what mistakes I made this year and what all lessons I got this year. So it was a good year, definitely, but yes, there are some things which I realized this year and I learned this year, and I would love to share it with you all. So if I talk about the first thing out of 5 which I learned this year and I deeply realized this year is, guys, busyness is a bliss. This is what I believe right from the bottom of my heart. Being busy is a bliss. Being busy is a blessing. Busyness is a bliss, guys. Why I not only say that, I mean it. There was a time when I had my entire day doing literally nothing, and all the problems came into my life just because I wasn't busy. And this year I have realized each and every day I was busy, I was engaged and occupied with a lot of work. The days were beautiful. The days were full of contentment. I was deeply satisfied with a lot of work. There was a lot on my plate every time. But I still believe each day when I had a lot to do, when there was a lot on my plate, those days were the most satisfied days, the days when I couldn't even think about any problem in my life. That doesn't mean that there were no problems, but I didn't give it much thought. I didn't overthink about it. I didn't waste my time overthinking about it. So there were problems, there were troubles, there were days, there were bad hair days, there were the days when I was at my lowest. But I knew tomorrow I have to wake up, I have to get back to work, and there was no time of thinking about it. So that is how I realized, if you are busy, if I was busy, or if I am busy, that is definitely a blessing from God. So guys, the solution for more than half of our problem remains or is lying in being busy. So busyness is a bliss according to me, number one. And if I talk about number two lesson which I learned this year. So guys, I have been a people person, honestly. You can call me a really sociable and people person. I have been always connected with a lot of people and been socially very active with a lot of friends, big circles, everything. But this year made me realize that not everyone whom you consider as your friend is actually your friend. They can be simply your acquaintances, and it's good to call them as your acquaintance rather than your friends, right? The definition of friends should be very clear, okay? And why I realized this, guys, because people often come up with a selfish motive. They are not always selfless. They are not always as pure as you think about them, or the intentions which you carry with yourself. You may think about that person, you may think good things about that person. That doesn't mean that person has got a similar perspective for you. They may have a different opinion, they may have different thoughts. So this is what I realized, this is what I experienced this year. I am fond of listening to a great spiritual speaker. She always says that if you have positive thoughts for someone, that person will definitely get those vibrations and it will be coming back to you. So this year that philosophy of mine failed because I had positive thoughts for some person, and later I came to know and I came to realize the thoughts were not similar, from the opposite end. So with this, there was a realization, no matter how positive you are for other person, it is not necessary that they can have similar thoughts, opinions, perspective for you, right? And then there was a realization, if I'll share that, you'll be feeling that, ma'am, this is too much now. But I realized that this year I connected with a lot of people. And all of them are very special to me, and it's none other than my students, and they are from all across the world. And when I met them, when I interacted with them, I really felt the most special person, like a most special person for them. But I have started believing in a fact: it's good to connect but not attach. Sounds weird, right? Connect but not attach. How is it even possible? You can ask that. Even I questioned that. How is it even possible to connect with someone but not attach? But it is definitely possible, guys. So not attaching yourself to someone doesn't mean that you won't respect them, you won't love them, you won't like them, or you won't have good feelings for them, you won't have positive thoughts for them. That's not necessarily true. Rather, it means that you can have all these positive feelings for that person, still not attaching to them in a way that means if there comes a day when that person goes away from you, you are shattered, you are completely devastated. That should not be the case, because it happened in the past. It happened. I used to attach myself so much. Every time when I had to face some consequences due to that. And it's not about a person, it's about the things as well. It's just a thing. It's just a purse. It's just a mobile phone. It's just a bag, right? Do not attach yourself to it as if it is, without it, your survival isn't possible. It is not the case. Connect to people, love them, be kind towards them, try to develop a great bonding with them, but do not attach. That is what I realized this year. Now, if I talk about the other realization which happened, or the lesson, it is more about realization, not a lesson. So guys, this year has been great, not only personally but also professionally. And if I say professionally, it is not, I'm not calculating it, or I'm not measuring it with the kind of monetary returns I have received. It is nothing but the kind of recognition, the kind of realizations, the kind of love, admiration I have received is beyond measures. That will always be cherishable. It is highly motivating for me, and it was none other than by my learners, by my students, by my co-workers. And that is what made me realize that there is a far more potential which I have, and I have always been overlooking it. So this year has been wonderful in that regard. So guys, here comes a very important realization, or a lesson which I got. I didn't get, I realized, right? It was just out of experience. Maybe I read it somewhere and then I thought more about it, I contemplated, and then I got the answer. Guys, stop blaming others for the situation you are in. If you are struggling, if you are in hot water, or if you are in a situation which is not really feasible, or which is not really supportive, stop blaming others. Stop playing this blame game. You are responsible for who you are. You are responsible for your situation. This is the mistake I had been doing for years. I had been doing that mistake for a long time, and I had always blamed my parents, my close ones, for not really doing great in what I wanted to do. But then I realized it wasn't their mistake. They did their part. It was my mistake. I wasn't stubborn. I wasn't obstinate and dedicated enough to achieve that goal of mine. If I was stubborn, if I was completely willing to achieve that goal of mine, of course I could have done that. Okay, so if I wanted something so badly, why didn't I put my 100% effort for it? I had to go the extra mile to achieve that target of mine. Why didn't I do that? If I didn't do that, if I didn't stand for myself, how can I blame my family and other people for the situation which I was facing? Of course, the situation can differ for people. It can depend on various other situations. But you are responsible for who you are. If you had your bad days, you are responsible. It is there. You have the power to change those days, those bad days of yours into good days. And if you had a bad situation, and if you're still having the same situation, that means you didn't put the extra effort. You didn't put the necessary effort into it. And if you didn't put the necessary effort, how can others come and stand for you? No one else will do that except you yourself. That is what I learned. Whatever situation I faced, I had in the past, the grim situation, the low time, everything, and I kept blaming others. They were not responsible. I was responsible for that situation of mine, and if I am having good days, I am responsible for this situation of mine because I stood for myself. I went against the odds and I said I was stern. I was very much strict and rigid with the decision I took that I have to do this. I have to do this no matter what. So that is how you can do, and stop playing this blame game, guys. We cannot simply blame others for our situation. So guys, you have the power to change your situation. You have the power to change your bad days to good days. You have the power to overcome that grim situation of yours. Stop blaming others. No one, literally no one, except you is responsible for what you are. Stop this blame game. Stop victimizing yourself. Till when are we going to do that? I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say. So guys, the point is, if we keep doing that, if we keep repeating that, it's just we are hampering our growth. We are completely channelizing our energy into the kind of thoughts which are more negative, and it won't help us, right? It won't help us grow. Rather, we can think how we can change our situations and how we can have a better tomorrow.
guys, stay tuned for part 2. It will be uploaded very soon. Do not forget to write what all vocabulary addition, new words you learned in this video and the lessons you learned in this year. Comment down.